Yeah. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. We are in session number 71. So, today we are going to begin a very wonderful shloka and discussion. It's going to be on the seventh chapter. So, before that, let's chant the pranam mantras. Hare Krishna Dev. So we can all join our palms, and I'll display the pranam mantras on the screen so you can join your palms and let's all chant together. That will be really very nice. So, yes. So let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. So all of you join your palms and let's chant this pranam mantras. Chant along with me. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौर त्विषे नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Hare Krishna. Welcome back all of you for the Bhagavad Gita study circle once again. So we are having a wonderful discussion on the seventh chapter, and in the previous verse we had actually discussed something very interesting. Krishna said that how bhumirapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhir evacha, that he has explained previously, but here rasoham apsu kaunteya. So Krishna explained how I am the original taste of the water. I am the heat in the fire. I am the ability in man. You see, so how Krishna is explaining that I am the original taste of everything. So we explained also about how there is anaguntakaha dharma, aguntakaha dharma, where there is something that is original, unchangeable. So that is what Krishna is saying, that I am the unchanging, the original taste of everything. I am the origin of everything. So Krishna explained that how there is variety of things, but all the origin, I am the one which from whom everything originates, from whom everything and uh, every which way I am the origin of everything. So Krishna has explained all these things very beautifully. So Krishna, after explaining these things, he is now actually in the last verse, in the last previous two words, we have started the Vijnana part of it. Previous to that, he has explained about Jnana, but in these verses, he is explaining Vijnana, the science, the wisdom of everything. Hare Krishna Uma Kumar, welcome to the session. So this is where Krishna is going to explain, is already explaining the Vijnana, the scientific, the real import of everything. What is the true source of everything? That is what even the scientists are looking for, isn't it? Scientists are always looking for the origin. What is the source? So similarly, here Krishna is saying that I am the source of everything. That is Vijnana. Vijnana means to find out the source. That is science. So Krishna is saying the ultimate science is to know that I am the origin of everything. So here now Krishna, after explaining that how all the living entities, I am the one who sustain all the living entities, right? He said that Sarva Bhuteshu, everything, all the Sarva Bhutas, all the living entities, I am the one who sustain them. Either it is a butterfly, either it is a tortoise, either it is a peacock, whether it is big elephant, anything that you take, a wild animal, everybody is getting their due food. It is because of me. Krishna says, I am the sustainer of everything. See, I am the sustainer of everything. So Krishna is explaining all these things. Now Krishna is further going to explain something very interesting. So Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the verse for today. And today we are going to start the 10th verse. Actually, ninth verse is where we understood a little bit. Punyo Ganda Prithviyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapas Chasmi Tapas Vishu. He said, Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. I am the one who is sustaining everyone. And the fragrance of the earth is actually is me. Krishna explained very nicely, and not just simply Gandha. He is saying that Punyo Gandha. He said that this Punyo Gandha means he has the ability to take only the auspicious Gandha, all the auspicious things, and he rejects all the inauspicious things. So that is why when we offer the Naivedya also, just by the Punya Gandha, but just by the smell out of it, he will relish all the food that you are offering him. Then tapaschasmi tapasvishu. He also said that how the ability to do tapas also is coming from me. There are so many times when we do tapas, it is the ability, the original ability is coming from Krishna. Sometimes you are not able to do. I am the same person, but sometimes I'll not be able to fast on Ekadashi. Sometimes I'm able to do Ekadashi very nicely. So that ability to do tapas also is actually coming from Krishna. So, Mataji, we can chant this very nice and beautiful verse today. That is 10th verse. So you can all nicely listen to this. Bhijam mam sarva bhutanam
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां
viddhi partha sanatanam
विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम्
buddhir buddhimatamasmi
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि
tejas tejasvinaham.
तेजस्तेजस्विनम् अहम्
Once again, Bijam Mam Sarvabhutanam
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां
Di Partha Sanatanam
विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम्
Buddhir Buddhimatamasmi
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि
Tejas Tejasvinamaham.
तेजस्तेजस्विनाहम् अहम्.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all the powerful men. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, so wonderful Krishna is saying here. Oh Partha, I am the Bija, the original seed of every existence that is there on this whole universe. And not just that, I am the intelligence of the intelligent. Buddhir buddhimatam tejas tejasvinam aham. And of all the brilliant people, that tejas that you see in the brilliant people is also me. So, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. Let's try to understand this now. Very, very interesting, very beautiful Krishna is saying here. Bijam. Bijam means what? Bija means the seed. Now Krishna is saying, I am the original seed. Venjaka Shakti. Bija has the Venjaka Shakti. I am the creative force. From me, everything emanates. That's why Krishna is saying here that I am the origin of everything. This is also very beautifully acknowledged by Brahma in the Brahma Samhita, very first verse. He says, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam Sarva Karana Karanam. You see? He's saying that I'm the cause of everything. So, this bija, this original bija, what happens is when it comes in contact with the three modes, when this original bija associates with the sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, then what happens is this bija fructifies into various living entities. This different types of various living entities we are able to see it is because this original bija actually gets in association with the three modes. So whenever this bija, what is this bija? This is not ordinary bija. This is a sanatana bija. All we living entities, we are sanatana bija. We are always existing. But when we are associating with these three modes, we actually fructify. This bija fructifies into different forms and shapes. It will take form of birds, beasts, men, moving and inert, non-moving. See, there are plants also, they are not moving. So, all these moving and non moving things are actually coming from where? It is actually coming from that original bija. I am saying, Krishna is saying, I am the origin of everything. So, all these different 84 lakh species of living and inert matter, everything is coming from Krishna. They cannot move, these plants cannot move. But where is the seed? The seed is actually Krishna. See, so many wonderful things. So I am the bija. So that means many times when we also say we go to the temples and we say I am belong to this gotra, that gotra, so many different gotras people actually they mention. But in original way, in a true sense, our origin is Krishna. Although many times we belong to a certain gotra, okay, this lineage is coming from this lineage is coming from this, which is good. But deep within, from the spiritual perspective, when we understand all these different lineages are also starting from Krishna, we should know that, isn't it? So that's why, as per the root is the one which actually sustains the whole tree. So Krishna is the root of all the different lineages, not just lineage in the human society, but he is the root of all the living entities, complete. He is the one who is sustaining everything. It is the whole universe is sustaining on this root called Krishna. There cannot be a stronger root than Krishna. He's so powerful, you can imagine. The roots are so powerful, they are able to sustain a big trees. Similarly, this whole universe is such a big thing, but the root is Krishna. Now you can imagine how powerful Krishna is. He's able to maintain all this manifestation, and this is all confirmed in the Vedic literature. It is said that yato va imani bhutani jayante, the supreme absolute truth is that from which everything is born. Everything takes birth from that original absolute truth. And Krishna is saying that I am that Bija, I am the origin. He is the prime eternal living entity among all the eternals. He is eternal. We are eternal, but He is the supreme eternal. That is the difference between us and the Supreme Lord. So this difference between the Lord and us is not understood by most of the people. Many people don't understand this difference between God and us. They think that, oh, I can also do whatever God can do. Once Prabhupada was discussing, and this one gentleman, he asked a question and he said, oh, Swamiji, that you are saying that God has created everything, but don't you think that even we can create? We also have the ability to create. You see, there is a big clock and there is a small watch. Okay, Lord may have created something big, but we can create something small, but we are able to create it. So Prabhupada very intelligently answers, yes, you're right. Actually, it is true. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we also have that creative force, that Vinjaka Shakti. We also have that ability to create something. You are true. Then Prabhupada said, but our creations are mostly incomplete because taking that example of clock and the watch, now, the Lord can create something which can multiply. He can create male and female, and it can multiply. But you cannot have a male watch and a female watch, and they can reproduce and generate more and more things. That is our creation. There is a limitation in our creation. But when Lord creates something, He creates in such a way that it can even multiply on its own without His interference. Without the Lord interfering, He can actually create so many beautiful things. See, that is the difference between God and us. We have the ability to create, but then it is limited. So that is why what Krishna is saying here, that even that creative force, the intelligence to create is also ultimately coming from me. Many times we think that, okay, I should have born a little earlier. I should have born a little later. Many times we think अगर थोड़ा बाद में पैदा होता तो अच्छा रहता या फिर पहले पैदा होता तो अच्छा रहता. So many times we think this is good, that is good. But ultimately, Krishna knows what is good for us. So this birth, giving birth to us in a certain time, place, circumstances to a certain family is all decided by Krishna and which is ultimately good for us. And then Krishna is moving on to saying that I am also the intelligence in the intelligence. See, buddhimatam asmi. Krishna is saying that I am the intelligence. So I must have told you this earlier also that how there are so many inventions that are happening in this world created by the scientists. Scientists create a lot of inventions, but that intelligence which the scientists have, Krishna is saying, I am that intelligence. So Krishna has to give intelligence. Only then we are able to invent something. Otherwise, not possible. That's why in the even in the scientific community, there are so many inventions that have happened by accidents. For example, Archimedes, we all know this famous thing, right? He was trying to find the density of gold, and suddenly, once when he was taking bath in the tub, immediately it flashed to him. He started yelling, Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. He started running, and then he found that, okay, this is how we can actually identify the density of gold. And then we also know this rubber. Rubber is a very soft material. Rubber is extremely soft, and the scientists were trying to make it very hard so that it can be useful. And so many experimentations were happening. And this Thomas Goodyear, I think the scientist's name was Thomas Goodyear. And that's why the Goodyear tires also we have. So the Thomas Goodyear, I think he once was heating this rubber and accidentally the sulfur fell into it. And then rubber became hard. He didn't make anything accidentally. We now say that, okay, it fell accidentally and then it became hard. But actually, it is Krishna. The interference of Krishna. Lord sees, oh my God, this fellow is struggling so much to make rubber hard. I will help him. Okay, sulfur fell into it accidentally. And then we also understood in this chemistry, we have studied about benzene ring. You know, benzene ring, they were trying to find out what is the chemical structure of this. And the scientist whose name was Benzene, that's why it's called benzene ring, it had in his dreams, he saw snakes, and the snakes had formed a very beautiful hexagonal shape with alternate bonds. I mean, in the sense, two snakes alternatively. So in his dream he saw the snakes and then he found the structure for benzene ring. That's why it's called benzene ring. Benzene ring has alternate double bonds. So now you see, these are all miracles. How this miracles? It's not a miracle. Krishna is saying here, Buddhir Buddhimatam Asmi. I give the intelligence. Now, going to understand like this, many times when we also create something, don't we think that this intelligence is coming from Krishna? We should think actually. This is how we should acknowledge the presence of the Lord. Sometimes we are cooking something, we want to try out something new, and it comes out so beautiful, so tasty. That buddhi to create is also coming from Krishna. Buddhir buddhimata asmi. See how Krishna's intelligence is supreme intelligence. Our intelligence is very minute intelligence. That is why Krishna also told Arjuna, oh Arjuna, this knowledge I have already spoken to Sun God, but I can remember everything you cannot remember. This itself is showing the intelligence of Krishna. Krishna is so intelligent that he knows everything of past, present, and future. But Arjuna doesn't know. We do not know. Do we know? No, we do not know all these things, what has happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future. It is because our intelligence is minute. Our intelligence is very limited. But Krishna's intelligence is not like that. Krishna's intelligence is supreme intelligence. That's why he's able to remember past, present, and future, isn't it? So that is why Krishna is so intelligent. He's supremely intelligent. I am giving the intelligence to everyone. Then he is also saying that. What is he saying in the last words? In the last sentence, he's saying, Tejas Tejas Vinam Aham. Tejas. In the previous words also we had come across this word Tejaha. Tejaha means heat. Here Tejaha, Tejas means it is that brilliance. Some people have that internal tejas, Everybody, to some extent, we have this tejas because we are all spirit souls. And that's why this body is able to move around. But there are some people who have special power. Tejas means to have some special power. And we find there are some people, there are some animals, or there are sometimes certain places which have a certain type of brilliance. They have certain types of tejas. You go to the temple, they have certain temples are so wonderful, just you go and you feel that brilliance. Oh, what a magnificent temple. So beautiful it is. It has certain tejas. You get attracted to it. There are some people, when you come in contact with them, that tejas is there in them. You feel so wonderful to meet these people, right? That tejas is there. So we see that there are some doctors, when you go to them, they just write a prescription, they check and it'll, they give you. There is no connect you feel. But there are some doctors, just by touching your hand, they test your pulse. And just by doing that, they say, oh, nothing has happened to you. Everything is fine. Don't worry. Just take this little bit of medicine and you'll be fine. Just those little words, you know, and you're wonderful, you feel so good about it, and you take the medicine and you're all right, completely all right. In Kannada they call it as Kai Guna, or maybe in Hindi they say Hat ka jadoo ya Hat ka power, whatever it is. Some people have that ability just by their touch, just by their vision. We get so much of happiness. So there are some people, when you come in contact with them, automatically you feel that brilliance. That is why we are always, we are requested, or sometimes we are actually told to associate with saintly people. Why? Because when you come in contact with saintly people, when you associate with saintly people, their brilliance, the tejas that they have, will influence us. Why we are supposed to be in the association of devotees is because just by the glance of these great saints, when the great Rishi Munis, when they have their glance on us, their eyes, they have so much of tejas that they can burn away all our impurities. They purify our mind. That's why when we go and meet the devotees and the devotees glances us, because they have that tejas, all our impurities they vanish. Our mind becomes pure. That is the power of being in the association of devotees. There was this hunter. This hunter was very cruel, and as long as he was there in the city, he used to rob people, and he used to even hurt people, and he used to exploit people, and he used to enjoy. And when he was totally disgusted here, he thought, okay, now let me not be in these cities, let me go to the forest. And in the forest also, he used to kill animals, and he used to hunt, and he used to exploit everything that is there. He used to feel that I am the king, and used to exploit everywhere. So, as once he was walking through the forest, he came across the hermitage of few sages. And these sages, it is said in the scriptures that those sages' name were Shushrut. The name of these sages were Shushrut. So they were actually with some of his disciples. All the sages were, having the disciples, and they were having discourse. And this hunter in the forest, you can imagine there also he thought about stealing and robbing. He thought, oh, this is a nice hermitage. They have so many things. Let me go and rob everything and hurt them and kill them. This was his idea. So he immediately pounced upon, he jumped to these into the hermitage of the sages, and with the knife he attacked the one of the sages. And sages by nature, they are very non-violent. They are not very into this fighting attitude, or they don't want to revolt. But this one sage who was being attacked by this hunter, he immediately said few words. Are you not afraid of the Lord? Are you not afraid of the Daiva? Be fearful of Daiva. Why are you so violent? We have not done anything to you. Listening to just few words from this sage, this hunter's heart had a transformation. Just by listening to this sage and coming in contact with the sage, there was a heart transformation. He immediately dropped his knife. He stepped back, and then he said, my dear sage, please forgive me. What I have done is wrong. Please forgive me. But how is that coming in contact with you? There is so much of transformation in me. I have killed so many people before. I have killed so many animals before. But just by coming in contact with you, my Lord, how is this heart transformation happen? Why is this? Then the sage explained to him, it is because the Paramatma, don't think it is because of me. The Paramatma within me, the Paramatma within you, he is the one who is guiding everyone. And since we are sages, we are non-violent by nature, and you were trying to become violent on us, the Paramatma within protected us because he knows the value of non-violence, and we are the followers of non-violence. We are protected by the Lord, and you are actually being protected by the Lord from committing the sinful activity of killing us. See how Lord is protecting both of us. So now we may think that yes, the Lord is doing this, but Krishna is saying that that tejas, that intelligence, that the to speak those wonderful words, through the mouth of that sage came from where? From the Paramatma. And just that tejas of these people, which is again coming from the Lord, is transforming this hunter. So many times when we come in contact with some devotees, people, we become transformed. That is what happened with people when they came in contact with Prabhupada. So many people, we know what was the condition of these hippies. But when these hippies they came in contact with Prabhupada, who had so much of tejas, automatically their heart transformed. This one incident I recall, I had read long time ago. Once Prabhupada was in London, and Prabhupada was moving in car, and suddenly, as this car was moving, a policeman he passed and he saw that this car is having some fire in it. He thought that there is some fire and these people are not aware. So this policeman immediately turned and he went very fast. He overtook the car and he stood in front of the car and he stopped it. He said, "Wait, wait, wait, there is fire in your car." And then he checked everything and the devotees also checked, there was no fire. Actually, what he saw was the brilliance of Prabhupada. Prabhupada's brilliance was so much, the tejas was so much, he thought it is fire. It was emanating from Prabhupada's body. Prabhupada's body was very effulgent. So the tejas attracts people. So from a small kid to the old man to the scientist to the critic, everybody in some way or the other was attracted to Prabhupada because he was so brilliant. See, the tejas was there. So it's not an ordinary thing. And by nature, some people are very, very effulgent by the mercy of the Lord, and some places are very wonderful, some people are very wonderful, some any animals also. Sometimes some animals also they have certain brilliance. You look at them, you feel so nice. Oh, they so look so cute, isn't it? So all this is coming. Krishna is saying that Tejas is coming from me. By the way, this is not going to happen through machines. That is why we should associate with great saintly people. Today, people have become very mechanical life they are leading, and they're suffering so much. They don't want to become social with anyone. They are very self-centered. People don't understand these simple things. We always need the grace of some others. There is grace in every family also. Many times you will see there is one Tejasvi in a family. There is a Tejasvi in the nation. All these different things we need to come across and we need to associate with great people. Then our lives will get transformed. We should not become self centered. At least this is one reason why we should interact with great people so that our life will get transformed. It is very essential for us. We should not be alone. We should not be self centered. But these days, I have seen so many people like that. They are all in their own cocoons. And that is not what we are meant for. When we are in their own cocoon, especially the younger generation these days, because of the gadgets and internet, they're becoming more and more self centered. They don't have an experience of the outer world. Just yesterday, because Makar Sankranti, I was uh, flying the kites. We had a very wonderful experience going to the terrace and we were flying the kites. And in fact, I cut my finger also. And there was one young guy, he has no experience of flying kites. I was really amused. He's already in his mid 20s and he has no experience of flying kites. I was thinking, what is this? In our childhood, everybody used to go out, children used to go out and they used to fly kites. I don't know if Dave has experience. You should have an experience. Dev and Ved, everyone, you should have an experience of flying kites. And I was really surprised that this person doesn't know, he has never had an experience of flying a kite. So unfortunate. People are so absorbed, so self centered. They don't want to interact with people. So difficult they find it to interact with people. They are so self centered. So that should not happen. That should not be there. So many times there is Tejasvis even in the family. Sometimes, when a small baby is born in a family, that baby itself will make people happy in the family because there is so much of Tejas, there is so much of life into it, there is so much of brilliance into that baby. That some babies, when they are born, they make everyone happy in the family. So nice it is, so beautiful it is. And then on top of that, there are people who say, no, no, it is all because of, the nakshatra that the baby is born is like that. The baby is born in this particular nakshatra, that's why this baby is very brilliant. And then some people say, no, it's not the nakshatra, it is the vara, it is the day, it is Sunday, Monday, whatever it is of the week. That is why this child is very brilliant. And then there are some people, no, no, it is not because of the nakshatra or the vara, it is because of the vastu. The vastu is such that it is making the child very brilliant and everybody is becoming very happy because of the vastu, isn't it? But the question here is, where is that brilliance coming in that nakshatra? Where is that brilliance coming in that vara? Where is that brilliance coming in that vastu? Krishna is saying that I am giving that tejas. Ultimately, the tejas is coming, the brilliance is coming from Krishna. The origin is so brilliant. The sun is acquiring its brilliance from Krishna. What to speak of you and me, isn't it? So, the question here is, the thing is, we should always associate with devotees because that tejas will help us. Come across with good people, the tejas will help us. And when you become very powerful by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, by following your sadhana properly, then you will also start glowing nicely. That's why devotees are very brilliant. And you become brilliant, that tejas will come into you and you will transform people's life. People will automatically get attracted to you. That is how it is. People can see that glory, that amsha of the Lord in you because you're chanting the holy name always. You will become brilliant. So, Tejas Vinam Asmi. So nice. Okay. So, let's understand the next verse. Dave, you can unmute yourself. Okay, let me add you to the stream. Vinodji is also there today. Okay, let's give a chance to Vinodji. He's not chanted any shloka since long time. So Vinodji, you can chant the verse today. Let me
Yes,
display that to you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Balam balavatam chaham
Balam balam vatam chaham
kamaraga vivarjitam
kamaraga vivarchitam
dharma virodho kama bhuteshu.
dharma viruddha kama bhuteshu
Sorry, it is dharma viruddha bhuteshu
dharma viruddha bhuteshu
kamosmi bharatarshava.
kamosmi bharatashabha
Again, balam balavatam chaham
balam balvatam chaham
kamaraga vivarjitam
kamaraga vivarjitam
dharma viruddha bhuteshu
dharma viruddha bhuteshu
kamosmi bharatarshava.
Kamosmi Bharatasabha.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of the Bharatas,
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
So, very nicely, Krishna is saying here, Balam Balavatam Chaham. Balam. What does that mean? Balam means it is Shakti. It can refer to the, the physical strength. It can also refer to the mental strength. It can also refer to the spiritual strength. So Krishna is saying that no matter what type of balam it is, that balam, ultimately any type of balam, balam balavatam chaham, I am saying that I am that balam, but what type of balam it is? He's putting an adjective. Krishna is giving an adjective here. What is that adjective? Kamaraga vivarjitam balam. He's saying that I am the balam, but that balam which is kamaraga vivarjitam, which is free from kama and raga. That balam which is free from lust and attachment, that type of balam is me. Now, Krishna is nicely telling that actually I'm the strength of all the strong people. I'm the balam, but kamaraga vivarjitam. A very beautiful example we have in Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, we know this character, this personality called Kichaka. This Kichaka was very, very powerful wrestler in the whole planet. It's not just that he was a national level bodybuilder or national level wrestler. He was universal. He was a Mr. Universe that time. Very, very powerful. Kichaka was extremely powerful, a great wrestler. This Kishaka, he had this strength, this Balam, but his Balam was what type of Balam? His Balam was filled with Kamaraga. It was not Kamaraga Vivarjitam Balam. His strength was filled with lot of ahankara, lot of attachment and lust. But on the contrary, we also have Bhima. Bhima also was having lot of balam. Who can now imagine the balam of Bhima? You see? But Bhima, although so powerful, she was able to somehow restrain himself from killing Dushasana when he was pulling Draupadi into the Asat Sabha. He could have finished Dushasana and all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra right then in that Asat Sabha. But he had that control, he had that restraint. Why? Because it was not the strength which was driven by Kama and Raga. Bhima's strength is not driven by Kama and Raga. But Kichaka, he was very, very powerful. And because he was powerful, he thought that now I can control and display my lust. And that is how he wanted to capture Draupadi. He wanted to have Draupadi, enjoy Draupadi. That was his idea. Because it is Kama Raga, filled with Kama and Raga. It is not like Bhima, Kama, Raga, Vivarjitam. It is not Vivarjitam for Kichaka. And what happened ultimately, because although he was very, very powerful, because of that lust, he got killed. Just see, because his Balam was influenced with Kama and Raga, he ultimately got destroyed. And that is what happens to us also. Our physical strength, our Manobala also, when we are not following the principles of Dharma, when our balam, our manobala breaks down, when you perform any adharma, when you know that it is wrong, but you perform that wrong thing deep within, that will make you weak. It will make us mentally weak. And that is why people don't take strong stands. When you know that this is wrong, and you are unable to take stands on a particular aspect or particular subject, it is because there is no manobala, and that manobala is not there because somewhere you have not followed the principles of dharma. When you follow the principles of dharma, you become very strong mentally. You get that manobala. That manobala comes by following dharma. When people do not follow that dharma, any type of dharma that is given as per the scriptures, that is when the manobala breaks. We become weak mentally. We become very emotional and we lose our rationality. And ultimately, because of losing discrimination, we will not be able to take proper decisions in our life. See, so many things are connected to dharma. That is why we are supposed to follow dharma, because it gives us direction. It gives us manobala. It gives us the strength. That is why it says, right? Dharmo rakshita rakshitaha. Why? Dharma is able to protect us. If you protect Dharma, the Dharma will protect you. It is because Dharma has that strength. Dharma gives you that balam. And what is dharma ultimately? Krishna is the source and root of all dharma. When you understand Krishna, when you know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and I have to serve Him, that is the greatest dharma. When we are doing unconditional loving service to the Supreme Lord, that is the highest dharma. And when we engage in this highest dharma, you will automatically get that spiritual bala, that physical bala, that mental bala, all will come. That strength will come. So Krishna is saying, please follow dharma. And then Krishna is also interestingly saying here, what is he saying? He's saying that dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava kamaha dharma aviruddho kamaha. It is not against the principles of dharma. Any desire which is in line with dharma, that kama is me. That's why Krishna is saying, I am the sex life which is as per dharma. So, our scriptures are always talking about everything should be under the framework of dharma. So, desire also, kama, you cannot become free from desires. If there is no desire, there is no motivation for work. So, as spirit soul, we will have desire, but the desire should be under the framework of dharma. So we should always have boundaries. What is dharma? What is adharma? Whenever you're performing action in terms of your mental thoughts or speech, anything should be always distinguished whether it is dharma or it is adharma. Desiring against dharma, then it is a problem. Like doctor has given you certain prescription, and if you're trying to go against the prescription of the doctor, then ultimately you are the sufferer. You will suffer. Doctor is saying that you don't eat oily foods, but your mind is saying no, I should eat oily foods because I want it now. So whom will you follow now? Will you follow the doctor or will you follow your mind? If you follow the mind, then ultimately you will suffer. But if you follow the doctor, you will become very healthy. So similarly, dharma means what? It is like following the doctor. You will become healthy. You will become strong. But if you don't follow the prescription of the dharmic principles given in the scriptures, then automatically you will become weak. Just think, like itching. Itching is there. Wound is there. A lot of wound is there, and you know that when there is a wound, you feel like itching. Now, on the wound, if you start itching, then what will happen? It will aggravate it more and more. So, similarly, you have to have that control. Don't itch it. Doctor is saying, I have given you the prescription, just apply this medicine, that will be good. More, no, I will itch it more and more. I desire now. My desire is to itch more and more. You will suffer. You will suffer. You will aggravate it. So that is why we should follow the principles of dharma, and that is what makes us different from animals. This is what makes us different from animals. We are not animals, we are human beings. That's why Krishna is saying, Dharma aviruddho kamaha bhuteshu, isn't it? And those who do not follow the regulative principles, then you are animal. Then we are also, what we are doing is, we are simply acting like cats and dogs. Because animals, they do not follow any dharma. They simply go by their instincts, abominable things. But here Krishna is saying, although sex life itself is abominable, the union between a male and female generally is considered to be very abominable, but Krishna is saying it is under the framework of dharma, it is me. Krishna is saying, I am that sex life when it is under the framework of dharma. Dharma aviruddho kamaha. Just see. That is why in our scriptures we always talk about Garbhadhana Samskara. Why do we talk about this Garbhadhana Samskara? Why? Because this is where we attract great souls. This is where the Brahmanas especially, they are supposed to perform Garbhadhana Samskara. Otherwise, we are only producing Shudras, cats and dogs. Prabhupada says we are simply, without any reformative samskaras, we are just producing cats and dogs. This is why people are scared today. They are only thinking about, they don't want to perform Garbhadhana Samskara, which itself is so wonderful to attract great souls. But here they do not perform any Garbhadhana Samskara. And they ultimately what they do is they complain about lot of population explosion. Oh, population is exploding, population exploding. Yes, you don't follow dharmic principles, population will explode. And then to control this kind of population explode, then what they will do? They will have contraceptives. Now, this is the greatest sinful thing. People, Prabhupada says that in this Western world, especially, so much of contraception is going on. So many babies are killed. So many abortions are happening every single day. And there are big debates happening, pro-life, pro-choice. There are so many people who are talking, no, they should be pro-life. World should be of pro-life. You give life. But there are also people who talk about pro-choice. They said, no, no, no. We have this ability. The woman, it is her body. She can decide whether I should have the baby or not. I will abort the baby or not. This kind of things are happening. And there are laws made now. Can you imagine this kind of things are going on? Now, this is not what our scriptures are talking about. Scriptures are talking about, they're saying that Pita nasasyad, Janani nasasyad, Guru nasasyad. Don't become a father, don't become a mother, don't become a guru if you are not able to free your dependence from the cycle of birth and death. You see, Krishna and the scriptures are saying that you don't become a father, don't become a mother, don't become a guru unless you have the capability to actually liberate your children from the cycle of birth and death. Everybody is taking this body which is filled with klesha. Asa klesha deha. This is filled with so many kleshas. We are giving birth to a child means we are giving a soul, this body, which is filled with klesha. So at least now we should become responsible father and mother. We should see and ensure that we give our child Krishna consciousness and make their life, this life, the very last life. That is the ultimate responsibility of any father, any parent, isn't it? We all wish good for our children. But then we don't know what is ultimate right. And when we understand this principle of Pita Nasasyat, Mata Janani Nasasyat, Gurur Nasasyat, that itself is a religious contraception. We don't need to have any other thought, artificial contraception. This itself, just by following dharma, we can actually control the population of the world. Just see. And we are not against karma. Our scriptures are not against karma. You want to produce 100 children, you produce. But it should be in the framework of dharma. And we have examples. Dhritarashtra himself had 100 sons. Rishabhadev had 100 sons. Krishna had 10 sons. I mean, from each wife. 10 sons and one daughter from each wife. So you can imagine everything is as per dharma. You can actually follow and you can lead a very wonderful life. This is what it is. That is why we also say Vivaha Samskara. Why Vivaha Samskara? So that, yes, there is a grown up man, there is a grown up girl, there will be desires, then it can be aligned in a dharmic way, then you produce and uh, increase the lineage of the family. That is the principle of Vivaha Samskara. You see? So we are not against it. We are not against it, but we are only telling you do it properly. But in the Western world, or many, even in India today, you see what's happening is women are exploited. Women are becoming pregnant, and there is no marriage, and the man just makes her pregnant and is gone. Many women are giving birth to children who are actually having a single parent. Many children in the West, they have only single parent, and such a difficulty it is. Women have to do two jobs to maintain the child. One to maintain herself, one to maintain the child. The man is gone. You see, so much of trouble, and we talk about the freedom. We talk so many feminists and other things. They are talking about so many new things to be introduced. Where is it? Where is it all leading to? When women are not protected, where is the question of uh, dharma, or where is the question of women's liberation? All in the name of commercialization, they have spoiled it. Nothing else. So that is why Balam, the strength is actually to protect the weak. Strength should be utilized to protect the weak. But where today all the Balam is only to exploit the weak people. The government is exploiting everyone. The strong people are exploiting all the weak people. That is what is that is what is happening today. More and more exploitation is happening, isn't it? So this is what we have to understand, that we are not against the uh, population explosion. We are against the improper Varna Sankara. We are only worried about Varna Sankara. And is that not what is happening today? There is so much of Varna Sankara, unwanted population, because of improper behavior of man and woman, and they don't know how to lead proper life, and they are just going as per their instincts and behaving like cats and dogs. And ultimately, when cats and dogs are being born in the society, how can we expect peace? There cannot be any peace. There will be only disturbance in the societies. There will be only disturbance in the world. So we should not give this chance. We should not give this chance to the asuras to take birth. We as devotees should understand and act as per dharma and give birth to children who are great devotees, so that a good population comes into this world. And good population means good society, happy society. This is what it is. So, so nicely Krishna is saying, I'm not against this. I'm only against the improper sex life, which is not as per the Vedic scriptures. So this way, Krishna has very nicely explained so many beautiful things again today. And Prabhupada is also saying that, very strongly, Prabhupada is speaking that, especially for the parents, is saying that we ultimately want the welfare of our children. And that can be done only when they are able to become Krishna conscious. So, as parents, our greatest responsibility, our highest responsibility is to ensure that our children become Krishna conscious and they make this life as last life. No more returning. That is the greatest gift that we can give to our children. That Krishna consciousness, and the Krishna consciousness can make them fully liberated from this unnecessary kleshas, this body, this material body. So, this is what Krishna is saying in this particular two verses. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Let us take some questions. I think there are some comments here. Okay, earlier I think I was not audible. Okay, okay, all right. Any questions, please? If there are any questions, you can feel free to ask.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
Prabhuji, tell me something about folk ISKCON Bangalore, Prabhuji.
folk.
Yes.
Yes, actually, folk stands for Friends of Lord Krishna. So when I was a young student, and I was in my college, I was a part of the folk. So folk is a youth forum where all the youngsters, we go and we have wonderful celebrations, and there are a lot of activities that happen. Basically, bachelors, we have this nice youth forum for youngsters where they can come and associate, and they can network with like-minded people, and we have exclusive programs for folk. So a lot of spiritual activities happen. They go out for service. They go out for they do a lot of temple service. They get trained in the folk hostels. We have folk hostels. I was a part of the folk hostel, and that is how from folk then gradually, we join the ashram. Not everyone, but yes, most of them, they become trained up in Krishna consciousness. So folk is a youth forum where we train youngsters, youth, to take up Krishna consciousness and to practice Krishna consciousness. So a lot of activities happen in this forum. It's amazing, actually. Folk is an amazing, very strong youth forum where we have a lot of programs for youngsters. That is all about folk. You can visit folknet.in. You will get a lot of details. There is a website, folknet.in. You will get most of the details there. But it is only for the bachelors. It's only for the
Okay.
bachelors.
Okay.
For all the other people, like I mean, say, who are grahasthas, we have separate programs like Krishna Shreya, Krishna Life, Life Sublime. So there are different programs for grahasthas. So accordingly, we take those programs.
Okay.
And gradually, you should all start taking up Prabhupada Ashraya. Prabhupada Ashraya is where if you are chanting 2 rounds now and you have completed a certain level of chanting, you can take that commitment that, yes, Prabhupada, I will, the beginning is the Shraddhavan level. So in this Shraddhavan level, I commit to chant a certain number of rounds, 2 rounds or 1 round, and reading a certain books and following certain Ekadashi. Very simple thing. I will share the document with you, all of you in the group.
Okay. Okay.
Please go through that Prabhupada Ashraya details, and you can slowly start taking Prabhupada Ashraya. And maybe in a year, 2 years, you may get inspired that, yes, I should also become a disciple of Prabhupada. I want to become a disciple of Prabhupada. Where I come to the stage where I become, I chant 16 rounds and I follow everything that is being told by Prabhupada, and you can become a disciple of Prabhupada. So why not? And then Prabhupada will inspire more and more things. Once you become a disciple of Prabhupada, then you will see what amazing things will happen. So that Ashraya levels, I will share with all of you. Please go through it. And whenever there is the next Ashraya program in your own cities, you can take up Ashraya levels. It is extremely important to take that step by step methods, simple things to go closer to Prabhupada and Krishna. So when you become a disciple of the great acharyas, then you will see there is a lot of transformation happening. Once we become disciple of Prabhupada, you will see so much of connection with Krishna because that Guru will help us. So all of you should take up this now seriously. It's almost been more than a year. It's almost 2 years now. So I think it's time that we take some very nice commitments and start our commitment toward Prabhupada and Krishna. I will share these simple things with you. You see what level you fit into, and you can take up accordingly. But let's begin with this Ashraya levels. Very, very nice. We have to take shelter of Guru. We should take shelter of Krishna.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Yes. Any other question, please? Great. So, this is what I wanted to share with all of you today. And thank you once again for joining, all of you, Vinodji, Dev Chandan, and Hina Mataji. So, please keep chanting your rounds nicely. You practice your Krishna consciousness at home. I understand there is a lot of COVID issues and other things happening. Lockdowns may come up surface of any time. So stay safe and just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So we will meet again. If you have any questions anytime, please you can mention that in the group, and I will share the Ashraya levels also with all of you so that you can get a feel of what it is, and you can take step by step. Uh, some decisions to get closer to Krishna. Please take care. Hare Krishna. We'll meet again. Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna Prabhuji.